Are you looking for an in-depth guide / tutorial on how to take on the bosses in Silksong? Or how about a full run of the fight with no commentary? Well, you've come to the right place, because we here at Direct Gaming have the perfect guide for you on how to defeat the Cogwork Dancers of Act 2. This video will cover the following. First, let's take a quick look at what I'm bringing into the battle, like crests, items attached, and so on. Then we're going to cover how the boss moves around, the attacks to look out for, and of course, how to counter each one. Then finally, that full run of the boss fight sped up a tad to show you how to use everything you have learned in real time. Timestamps below for each section. Let's get started. In terms of what I brought to the fight, this is how I filled out my personal crest. Going with the Reaper crest, which allows me to get more silk when I heal. I have Warding Bell to shield me if I heal, but the boss gets a hit on me. Thread Storm for my main R1 ability, threefold pin for my up and R1 to cover a larger range of attacks if I need it, and finally the Flitzate, which applies fire to my needle for extra damage. If you've gone on a different path or collected more items than what you see here on screen, please feel free to use whatever works best for you. This is simply what I went with. I do personally recommend the Reaper crest though, if you find you tend to heal a lot during battles and are running low on silk. This crest can help a lot with most fights up to this point in the game. But with our loadout and equipment done, let's get on to the actual fight itself. Okay, so when it comes to the Cogwork Dancers, there are 3 phases to the fight. The fight itself is not so tricky, but being careless can get you killed, especially when trying to get sneaky with your counterattacks. So let's break it down. For phase 1, the boss really only has 2 attacks. The first is the attack you will see 99% of the time, the dash attack. Both bosses will dash in different directions indicated by their eyes and the line of sight that you see. Wherever it's pointed, that's where the boss is going to show up. Now, this type of attack obviously leaves the boss wide open to attack, so anytime you get an opening after they dash to their next spot around the arena, get a couple of counter hits in before checking where the next attack will go. The one direction I recommend keeping an eye out for is when the boss dashes horizontally along the ground. You'll need to jump over the path as the boss dashes towards you. It will reach from one side to the other, so there's no outrunning it. Couple of extra details to also keep in mind. You do not need to focus equally on both bosses. Just attack whoever is closest to you and then attack / dodge when you need to. When you see the bosses dash towards each other into the center of the stage, indicated by the giant circle, stay away from it until the attack finishes. Once that's over, then go in for a couple counterattacks. The final detail is to not underestimate the boss's attack range when it lands on the ground. You will notice that any dash towards the ground results in the final animation being a slash attack with both of its arms. This will hurt if you get hit by it, so while you can read where the boss is going to go next, keep a short distance away from it till it lands, then counter when necessary. Second attack is where both bosses will disappear and you'll see random lines show up on the screen. These are the attack patterns for both bosses, meaning that you need to jump and most likely hover in place to avoid the attack. If you get lucky where you can just stand between a set of lines and not need to jump / hover, then great. But me personally, I never got that lucky. Now, these are the 2 main things you'll be seeing throughout phase 1. As you continue to attack either boss as they dance around the stage, eventually you will stun them, forcing them back to their starting points when the fight started. After a couple of seconds, they'll re-emerge again, but this time they've sped up. Now, in terms of new attacks, nothing has actually changed, but the amount of counterattacks and when to counterattack needs to change on your side. Before, you could go anywhere between 2 to 3 hits as long as the boss was not right in your face and you did not need to jump to get away. Now, however, though, I recommend doing between 1 to 2 attacks. This is not only because they are faster, but because they start to throw in the dance attack more. You know, the giant circle that we talked about in the middle, along with the multi-line attack where you're going to need to usually jump and hover until it's over. The final thing to note is the fake out dash. Sometimes one of the bosses will pick its next path, but they won't actually go that direction. This can fake you out sometimes as the other boss might be dashing towards you and result in you getting hits. Keep attacking both bosses until you finally stun them again for phase 3. Once you start phase 3, you're going to notice that they're actually out of sync, meaning that you really need to watch both bosses and they dash around the stage at different times. Keep the attacks to 1 or 2 like we mentioned for phase 2, or even not attacking sometimes. Better give yourself some openings when they're moving around. It can feel like the fight's taking a little bit of time, but don't worry, it actually won't take you too long. Keep up the attacks until you finally take one of the bosses down. The second boss will then retreat back to its starting point and then try to attack all by itself. This actually becomes super easy to read. They just keep attacking, thinking that the partner's still with them, but you can just keep hitting them, especially when they try to do that center dance stage attack. Keep up the attacks like beforehand until you finally take the second one down and the boss fight is finished. Now, here's a full run of the boss fight sped up a tad to show you how to use everything you have learned in real time. If you're finding it challenging, try a couple of runs to simply learn the timing of the attacks and how to best move around the arena. It's okay if it takes a few tries. If you enjoy the guides, then the like in the video shows us that you enjoy this type of content. And don't forget to check out our other Silksong guides and content along with our other videos in the top right corner and pinned comments. Thanks for watching the video. I've been Talon with Direct Gaming. I hope you have a great day and week, and I hope to see you all in our next video or in our live stream discussions. We enjoy getting to chat with everyone on Friday who stops by. Until next time, though, John A.